This video is to show you how to make a light-up pop-up house like this, so that when you open the card, you have a house that pops up and lights up like so. Okay, so in order to make this pop-up house, what you're going to need is the template printed out, some tape, some glue, pair of scissors, some adhesive copper tape like this, which we'll use as wire, a 3-volt button cell battery, and an LED. So to begin with, I've already cut out some of the pieces in order to save time in this video. I'm going to move some of the pieces out of the way. The link for the template will be in the comments below the video. So the first thing that you need to do is to take the two parts of the card base and glue them together. So I'm going to take this sheet and put some glue on the back. Oops. You can use a glue stick if you prefer. Any kind of glue like this that glues paper together will be just fine. So I'm going to glue these two sheets so they line up. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it over. Now remember, with the templates from Teacher Toy Shop, when you fold, the small dots like this mean to make a valley fold. The longer dots like that mean to make a mountain fold. So this one's going to be a valley fold, so I'm going to go like that. And like this. And open this up and we have our card base. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is to put down the copper wire, and we're going to put down these two pieces right here. So I'm going to take my adhesive copper tape and measure out two long pieces. So one piece will go here, and the other piece, which is the same length actually, is going to go right here. Okay. Then what you want to do is to separate the adhesive from the paper, like so. Pull that off. And lay that down like this. And then the other piece. Sometimes it's a little tricky. Oh, there we go, to get the adhesive separated from the paper. With this one, just to show you there's different methods of doing this, rather than pull the whole backing off, I'm going to do it as I lay this down. Sometimes that's easier with longer pieces. You can experiment and see what works for you. The main thing is to make sure that the two pieces of copper wire are on their lines. If they're not exact, that's fine. You just need to make sure that they cross the area where the LED is going to go. So this one crossed here and this one crossed here. And that this piece of copper wire crosses where the battery is going to go, and this one doesn't. Okay, so this is correct. The next thing is to install the battery. Now, before installing the battery, make sure it works and that your LED works. The battery is positive on this side, you can see from the plus sign, and negative on this side. LEDs actually have a positive and negative end as well. The longer side is positive and the shorter side is negative, and that matters. So when you test it, put it like so that the longer side is on the positive side, and you see that the LED lights up. If either one of them doesn't work, do not proceed until you get a new LED or a new battery, and make sure that both of them are working. Okay, so the next step is we're going to put the battery in place right here. We're going to tape it down. These two lines are where you're going to put the tape. But you want to be careful to tape it down so that it's secure, but part of the top of it is still exposed so that the copper wire can touch it and make a connection. So I wonder if I want a slightly longer piece of tape actually. So I'm going to take, okay, something like that. Okay, that might even be too long, but that's okay. So I'm going to cut my tape in half like this and use each side to cover the battery. Now you can see what I mean here with the battery. So one side goes like this. It's okay if you put tape on the copper wire, that part's okay. What we need to do is secure this battery but leave some of this exposed right here. So I'm gonna go like this and like this. So now my battery is down, but there's a little bit of battery exposed right there. Okay, so then the next step is we're going to take the battery cover. This is the battery cover and it's already been folded. And this one is going to go here, but when we glue it down, the thing to make sure is that you line this up like this, because we're going to put copper wire along there, copper tape. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue and probably more glue than I needed really, but okay, so just like so. So I'm going to put that down, line that up. And then measure out a little bit of copper wire, like so. And okay, like this. Okay, so this copper wire is going to go along here. You want this to cover this part right to the end there so that it covers that wire, and then all the way down here. Now the idea is that when this battery cover comes over here, oops, I got glue on the other side, whoops, that this is going to touch right here when you push down. And this should make a connection with the LED. Our next step is going to be to glue down the LED. All right, I did not line that up really well, but it'll still work. Okay, so here's the LED. Now here is the thing to be careful about. Once I push these leads to the side, it's going to be hard to remember which one's positive and which one's negative. So if you want, you can take a Sharpie and mark it, but I'm just going to try to remember right here. So this is the longer side, it's going to go on the positive side, and this is the shorter side, so it'll go on the negative side. So I'm going to bend these back like so and push this down on here. Now here is where we need to make sure that we're making a connection. I'm going to push this over and push down, and it is not making a connection. So that is where I need to move this and see, why is that not working? Nope, I did have that part right. This is not working well. Why are you not connecting? Ah, there we go. You see the light shining? Okay, so the next step is I need to let the dog in because the dog is crying to come in. Okay, so, all right, so the next step here is, got it to work, yes. All right, sometimes that is what you need to do. You will need to play around a little bit and make sure that you're getting a good connection. Sometimes it's a matter of smoothing this out, pushing this down further, just moving things around a bit until you make sure it works. Now, every step of the way from now on, make sure that this is working. So I'm going to go ahead and tape down my LED. I'm going to push it down pretty hard while I tape it so I make sure I get a good connection here. Yep, still working. Okay. And then this side, again, push it down pretty hard so you get a nice, good connection. Okay. All right, so that's looking good. Okay, so then the next step here is, I did this at a slight slant. What I want to do is cover the battery cover. So I have a couple of battery cover pieces. This is just for decoration here. And then my other battery cover piece, which goes right here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue. This tells people where to push down in order to light the house. So I'm going to put that one there. and this one here. And then the other thing is, I just keep checking that to make sure it's still lighting. Put a little bit of glue here to permanently cover, your battery cover, to permanently seal it down. So that's still working. Okay, and then you also want some decoration over your wires, so those aren't showing. If you have a hole punch, it's actually really nice to just punch through here, but I don't. But you can certainly use a hole punch if you have one. So I'm going to do this trick of folding and cutting out the circle. So put my scissors in here, and what I'm doing is cutting through these wooden logs because the LED makes it look like these logs are burning, like burning in the fireplace, which is kind of a cute effect. There we go. Okay, so the logs are cut out. It's not the greatest cutting job, but you get the idea. So that's going to get glued down right over here, and that's still working. Okay, so some glue here. Okay. So that decoration is down. All right, the next step, we're going to put this aside for a few minutes, is to build our house. Okay, so the base is complete for the moment, and we're going to take these pieces here. So I have this house piece, this is the other part of the roof, and then we have all of these interior pieces. So let me start with the inside of this roof. So this is going to need a roof piece, and this piece goes on the inside of the window. So put some glue here. And this is the ceiling in the house, in your log cabin. And this is the interior window. Okay, so that side is done. And then let's work on the main part of the house. Same thing, we have a ceiling piece. So that's going to go there. And then this is the fireplace. It's going to make it look like the LED is lighting it. That goes on the opposite side of the snowman wall. So that's going to go right there. And actually, as I'm gluing this down, I've noticed I forgot to do a fold right here. All the folds are essential, so if you forget any as you're going, just go ahead and put those in, because you will need those for the pop-up effect. And here's a missing fold as well, and I can see these are both mountain folds because of the length of the dotted line. So I don't see any other missing folds, but maybe I'll find some along the way. Oh, looks like I need a little bit of glue in that corner right there. Okay, so now we just need to get the inside of the door and the back window and the attic. Okay, so this is the back window and the attic piece, and this is the inside of the door, which I actually have not finished cutting out, so I will do that right now. Okay. Depending on how much ink is in your printer, the colors might look slightly different than what I have here. I'm just looking at this and realizing my printer is a little low on ink in some colors. Okay. So that's that. So this is the front door, which goes here. So this piece is going to go right there. And then this piece. Okay, and then this is the back, so the back window. So this goes like so, and then this piece. These are just really symmetrical pieces that go inside like that. And if you wanted to color something more on here, put something on the mantle, you absolutely could. It's kind of fun actually. And then these are going to be the attic pieces. So the interior attic. Here's one. And there's the other. Okay, so that's the house. And then what we need to do is glue these pieces together and then glue the whole house together. So first I'm going to start with where you see it says there's a 3 and it says glue 3 behind here. So I'll put some glue there, and this goes like this. So the two snowy roofs come together here. And you see this is pretty cute because you've got the fireplace, the chimney above where the fireplace is inside. You'll see that when we're done. Here it says glue 4 behind here, and here's the 4. So I'll put some glue there. Okay. Might need a little glue there. And then on the other side, there's a 5 and a 6, and those say glue 6 behind here and glue 5 behind here. So we'll put a little glue on those two tabs. Let's see. So the 5 is going to go here. Ah. My fingers are getting in the way here. 5 and 6. I didn't do a great job with lining up that 6, unfortunately. Ugh. This is not as complicated as I'm making this look. I think I'm just trying to rush because it's the video. Okay. So that is your house, all glued together. And the next step is to take the house and glue it onto the base right there. And you can, by the way, I'm just rechecking that this is still lighting, which it is not. And that's not good. So you want to play around with this and make, there we go. So play with that, make sure that it's still lighting, move your LED, because if it's not lighting for you, you got to fix that before you put the house on. Oh, that's that piece right there that needs to be down. Like that. Ah. Let me see if I can rotate this LED. This is the kind of troubleshooting. Oh, this side too, actually, it turns out. I'm going to push it down pretty well. There we go. Okay, so then what you want to do is glue 8 behind 8 and 7 behind 7. Like so. And finally, the bird is optional really, but if you would like to put a bird on the house, we have this piece right here. And so what we're going to do is, make sure I have a little cut right here. I think I did, yeah. This is going to be folded right here, and we're going to glue this over like that so you have both sides of the bird. So you take this, go like that. So that's the two sides of your bird. And then this can really just get glued right there. So you put your tab. And glue that onto the house like so. And so then what you should be able to do, it's not like I haven't done a great job letting this dry, which obviously you would do, but what you would do is you can actually fold this like this when the whole thing is dry, and the card folds over like that, and then just being gentle with it since it's still wet, and then you open it open, and you open it up and it just pops open right like that. Now if you're having trouble getting the light to light, one of the reasons this was left open in the back was partly so you could see inside, but also so that you could you can play around with it. You can even stick a pencil in there to push down to make sure that it's lighting. So for example, I'm going to hold this up just so you can see in there. So since I'm having a little bit of trouble getting this to light, I can reach in, whether under here or through there, until you get this thing properly seated on there. And that's it. That's pretty much your pop-up light-up house.